Do you fear death? I used to. As a science teacher, I believed death was the end. But then I died for 8 minutes, and Jesus showed me the truth. Now, I can't wait to share what I learned about the afterlife with you. From the peaceful souls who lived good lives to those still learning and growing, I saw where dead people go and what they're doing right now. Are you ready to lose your fear of death and gain a new perspective on life? My name is Monica Parsons, and I've been teaching science in a small Ohio town for the past 15 years. Biology and chemistry are my subjects, and I've always prided myself on my analytical approach to life. I believed in what I could see, measure, and prove. The scientific method wasn't just a tool for my classroom. It was my guiding philosophy. Every Saturday morning, rain or shine, I'd lace up my running shoes and hit the trails in the local park. It was my time to clear my head, plan my lessons for the upcoming week, and enjoy the predictable rhythms of nature. Little did I know that one particular Saturday would shatter everything I thought I understood about life and death. As I went about my usual routine that morning, brewing my coffee and checking the weather forecast, I had no inkling of the life-altering event that was about to unfold. I remember feeling particularly energized. Thinking about the upcoming unit on cellular respiration, I was excited to teach my sophomores. I even jotted down a few ideas for a new lab experiment as I munched on my whole grain toast. The crisp autumn air felt invigorating as I started my run. The leaves were just beginning to turn, creating a vibrant canopy above the trail. I found myself pondering the biochemical processes behind the changing colors, marveling at the intricate dance of molecules that painted this beautiful scene. As I rounded a bend in the trail, a sudden tightness gripped my chest. At first, I dismissed it as simple exertion, but within seconds, the pain intensified. My breath came in short, ragged gasps, and a cold sweat broke out across my forehead. The world around me began to spin, and I stumbled, my legs suddenly unable to support my weight. I remember reaching out to steady myself against a nearby tree, my mind racing to understand what was happening. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, a science teacher who could explain the intricate workings of the human body, yet utterly helpless as my own body betrayed me. As I collapsed onto the leaf-strewn ground, my last conscious thought was a detached curiosity about what was happening to me. Even in that moment of crisis, the scientist in me couldn't help but observe and analyze. The world faded to black, and I felt myself slipping away. In those final moments of consciousness, I had no idea that I was about to embark on a journey that would challenge everything I thought I knew about life, death, and the nature of reality itself. When I opened my eyes again, I was no longer on the forest trail. In fact, I wasn't in my body at all. I found myself floating above a chaotic scene, watching as park-goers and first responders worked frantically over my lifeless form. But that was just the beginning of an experience that would forever change my understanding of existence and what lies beyond our physical world. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to leave your body behind? In that moment, suspended above the frantic efforts to revive me, I discovered a profound truth about our existence that no textbook could have prepared me for. I found myself floating above my body, watching the rescuers work with a strange sense of detachment. It was surreal seeing my lifeless form on the ground while park-goers and first responders rushed around in a panic. But here's the thing that surprised me most. Despite the chaos below, I felt completely at peace. As a science teacher, I always thought I'd be terrified of death. But in that moment, an unexpected calm washed over me. It was as if all the stress and worry of my earthly life had simply melted away. I felt light, free, and oddly curious about what was happening. Before I could fully process this strange new state, I felt myself being pulled away from the scene. Suddenly, I was moving through what I can only describe as a dark tunnel. It wasn't scary, though. Instead, it felt like I was being gently guided towards something important. As I moved through this tunnel, I noticed a bright light growing stronger in the distance. It wasn't harsh or blinding. Instead, it was warm and inviting, drawing me in like a beacon of hope. I found myself moving faster and faster towards it, filled with a sense of anticipation I'd never experienced before. When I emerged from the tunnel, what I saw took my breath away, if I'd still had breath to take, that is. I found myself in a realm of indescribable beauty. Vibrant colors I'd never seen before danced around me, more vivid and alive than anything on Earth. The air itself seemed to shimmer with a kind of energy that made me feel more awake and aware than I'd ever been. And the music. Oh, the music was unlike anything I'd ever heard. It wasn't coming from any particular direction, but seemed to flow through everything, creating a symphony of pure joy and love. It was as if every beautiful sound in the universe had come together in perfect harmony. As I stood there, trying to take it all in, I realized this wasn't just a place, it was alive. Everything around me pulsed with a kind of consciousness that made our understanding of life on Earth seem limited and small. I felt connected to it all in a way that's hard to put into words. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more incredible, I saw a familiar face approaching me. It was my grandmother, looking younger and more vibrant than I'd ever seen her in life. Her eyes sparkled with love and pride as she came towards me, arms outstretched. "Welcome home, Monica," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "We've been waiting for you." As I embraced her, I knew that my journey was just beginning. Little did I know that this reunion was just the first of many incredible revelations awaiting me in this new realm. Just as I was embracing my grandmother, a figure of unparalleled radiance appeared before us. It was Jesus, and his presence filled me with a sense of pure love and kindness that I had never experienced before. His smile was warm and welcoming, and I felt an immediate connection to him that transcended anything I had known on earth. Jesus gently took my hand and said, "Monica, there's so much I want to show you." With that, he began to guide me through what he called the third heaven. This wasn't the final resting place for souls, he explained, but rather a divine staging area where those who had recently passed could rest, learn, and prepare for what was to come. As we walked, I was struck by how different this place was from what I had always imagined the afterlife to be. There were no pearly gates or fluffy clouds. Instead, I saw a vast, vibrant realm filled with different areas, each serving a unique purpose for the souls present. Jesus led me to a beautiful garden that reminded me of descriptions I'd read of Eden. At its center stood a magnificent tree which he told me was the tree of life. "This is where souls come to be nourished and rejuvenated," he said. I watched as spirits gathered around the tree, basking in its glow and seeming to draw strength from its presence. In another area, I saw souls engaged in what looked like deep discussions and study. Jesus explained that this was where spirits learned and grew, gaining understanding about their past lives and preparing for future challenges. It was like a cosmic classroom filled with the energy of discovery and enlightenment. But not all areas of the third heaven were bright and joyful. Jesus showed me darker regions where restless spirits dwelled. These souls, he explained, had turned away from love and goodness during their earthly lives. "They're not being punished," Jesus said, his voice filled with compassion. "They've cut themselves off from God's love and light. But even here, there's hope for growth and redemption." As we continued our tour, I began to understand that this realm was far more complex and purposeful than I could have ever imagined. It wasn't a final destination, but a place of transition and transformation. Souls here were all at different stages of their journey, learning, healing, and preparing for what lay ahead. Jesus smiled at my growing comprehension. "This is just the beginning, Monica," he said. "The third heaven is temporary, a stepping stone on each soul's eternal journey. Every spirit here has the potential for growth, no matter their past actions." I felt a surge of hope at his words. If this incredible place was just the start, what wonders lay beyond? As if reading my thoughts, Jesus squeezed my hand gently. "Are you ready to learn more?" he asked. "There are deeper truths about love, forgiveness, and the very purpose of earthly life that I want to share with you." With a mix of excitement and awe, I nodded, eager to uncover the profound spiritual insights that awaited me. Little did I know that what Jesus was about to reveal would forever change my understanding of existence itself. Have you ever wondered what really happens when we face our lives after death? As Jesus took my hand, I realized I was about to witness something extraordinary, a process that would challenge everything I thought I understood about accountability, forgiveness, and the very nature of our existence. Jesus gently guided me to a serene area within the third heaven. "Monica," he said, his voice filled with compassion, "it's time for you to understand the true nature of judgment and forgiveness." I felt a mix of curiosity and apprehension as he began to explain the concept of life review. When souls transition from earthly life, Jesus told me, they experience a profound reflection on their actions and choices. But it's not the harsh, punitive judgment many on earth fear. As he spoke, I saw souls engaged in what looked like deep introspection. Some were smiling peacefully, while others appeared more troubled. Jesus explained that during the life review, individuals see and feel the impact of everything they did. It's not about punishment, but about understanding and growth. I watched as one soul relived a moment of kindness, their face lighting up with joy. Another soul seemed to be grappling with the consequences of a hurtful action, their expression pained but reflective. This process, Jesus said, is about self-awareness. It's an opportunity for souls to truly comprehend the effects of their choices, both positive and negative. I began to understand that this wasn't about a divine being passing judgment, but about each soul coming to terms with their own actions. As we continued to observe, Jesus shared his teachings on love and forgiveness. The ultimate goal, he said, is to learn how to love more deeply and to understand your divine nature. He showed me how souls who had lived with love and kindness experienced their life review as a beautiful, reassuring journey. But what about those who had caused harm or made mistakes? Jesus explained that, even for them, this process was about healing and growth. The problems and pain experienced on earth are opportunities, he said. They're chances to choose love over fear, healing over anger. I watched as souls in various learning areas worked on forgiving themselves and others. It was a powerful sight, seeing the weight of past mistakes lifting as they embraced forgiveness and understanding. Jesus told me that this process of healing and growth continues even after the life review, as souls prepare for their next steps in the spiritual journey. As I absorbed these profound truths, Jesus revealed the ultimate purpose of earthly life. Your time on earth, he said, is about evolution, dashus, not just physical, but spiritual. Each life, each choice, each act of love or forgiveness contributes to the growth of your soul. I felt overwhelmed by the beauty and complexity of this cosmic plan. The idea that our earthly struggles and joys were all part of a greater journey of spiritual growth filled me with a sense of wonder and purpose I'd never known before. As our time in this realm of revelation came to an end, I realized how deeply these truths had affected me. My old, skeptical worldview was crumbling, replaced by a new understanding of life, death, and the incredible journey of the soul. I knew that when I returned to my earthly life, nothing would ever be the same. Just when I thought my mind couldn't be more blown, Jesus presented me with a cosmic tapestry of human relationships. The intricate web before me pulsed with countless threads of light, each representing a connection between souls. "Do you see it, Monica?" Jesus asked. "Every interaction, every relationship, no matter how brief, is part of a grand design spanning lifetimes." I gazed in wonder at the complex network of connections, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Jesus explained that what I was witnessing were soul groups, clusters of spirits who journeyed together through multiple lives, playing different roles to help each other grow and learn. "But what about soulmates?" I asked, thinking of the romantic notion I'd always held dear. Jesus smiled gently and said, "The concept of a single, perfect match is a limited understanding of the deep connections we share. In truth, we have many soulmates, not just romantic partners, but friends, family, and even those we might consider enemies in our earthly lives." As he spoke, I saw how souls interacted across different lifetimes. It was like watching a cosmic dance, with spirits taking on various roles in each other's lives. In one scene, I saw two souls as passionate lovers. In another, they were parent and child. In yet another, they were rivals pushing each other to grow. "Look closely," Jesus urged. I focused on a particular group of souls and gasped as I recognized myself among them. I saw how I had been connected to these spirits across many lives, as a sister in one, a teacher in another, even an adversary in a distant past. Every relationship serves a purpose, Jesus explained. The love we share, the challenges we face together, even the conflicts we endure. All of these experiences contribute to our spiritual growth. I watched in awe as seemingly small interactions rippled across the tapestry, creating profound effects. A simple act of kindness in one life led to a deep bond in another. A moment of forgiveness healed wounds that had persisted across multiple incarnations. As the full scope of these interconnections became clear, I felt overwhelmed by the beauty and complexity of it all. "Why don't we remember these connections when we're on Earth?" I asked. Jesus smiled. "The veil of forgetfulness allows you to make choices freely, without the burden of past lives influencing your decisions. But even without conscious memory, these soul connections guide and shape your earthly experiences." I realized then that every person I'd ever met, every relationship I'd formed, was part of this grand tapestry. The idea that we're all intimately connected, helping each other learn and grow across lifetimes, filled me with a profound sense of love and purpose. Remember, Monica, Jesus said, his voice filled with warmth. Every act of kindness, every choice to love contributes not just to your own growth, but to the spiritual evolution of all humanity. As I absorbed this incredible revelation, I felt a shift in my understanding of life and relationships. I knew that when I returned to Earth, I would see every interaction, every relationship in a new light, as an opportunity for growth, learning, and love. Jesus squeezed my hand gently. Now that you understand the interconnectedness of all souls, he said, are you ready to explore the role of free will in this cosmic dance? I nodded, eager to uncover more truths about our spiritual journey. Monica, have you ever wondered why life on Earth can be so difficult? Jesus asked, his eyes filled with compassion. I thought about all the struggles I'd witnessed as a teacher and my own personal hardships. Little did I know, I was about to learn the cosmic purpose behind our earthly trials. Jesus gestured to the vast expanse around us. Earth is more than just a planet, he explained. It's a spiritual school, a place where souls come to learn and grow. As he spoke, I saw images of people facing various challenges. A woman comforting a sick child, a man struggling with addiction, a teenager standing up to bullies. But why does it have to be so hard? I asked, thinking of all the pain and suffering I'd seen in my life. Jesus smiled gently. The challenges of physical life provide unique opportunities for growth that aren't available in the spiritual realms, he said. Each difficulty you face is a chance to choose love over fear, healing over anger, and bravery over complacency. I thought about my own life, the times I'd faced hardship, and how those experiences had shaped me. Jesus continued, free will is central to this growth. God gave humans the ability to make choices, to decide how they'll respond to life's challenges. He showed me scenes of people making pivotal choices in their lives. I saw a man choosing to forgive someone who had hurt him deeply, a woman deciding to pursue her dreams despite obstacles, a couple working through a difficult patch in their relationship. Every choice you make shapes your spiritual journey, Jesus explained. When you choose love, kindness, and forgiveness, you're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to the growth of all humanity. The weight of this revelation settled on me. I realized that every decision I'd ever made, every interaction I'd had rippled out into the universe in ways I couldn't have imagined. But what about the people who make harmful choices? I asked, thinking of the darkness I'd seen in some corners of the world. Jesus' expression was filled with compassion. Even those who have strayed far from love and goodness have the potential to turn back toward the light, he said. That's the beauty of free will. Every moment offers a new chance to choose differently. As I absorbed this profound truth, Jesus revealed something that took my breath away. Monica, he said, every decision you make affects not just your own life, but the entire cosmos. You're part of a vast, interconnected web of existence. Your choices, your love, your growth, it all contributes to the evolution of the universe itself. I felt overwhelmed by the responsibility, but also filled with a sense of purpose I'd never known before. Jesus squeezed my hand reassuringly. Don't be afraid, he said. This knowledge isn't meant to burden you, but to empower you, to help you understand the incredible potential within you. As our conversation drew to a close, I realized that my understanding of life and my place in the universe had been forever changed. Jesus' words echoed in my mind, now that you understand the power of free will and personal responsibility. Are you ready to see what this means for humanity's future? Jesus' question hung in the air, heavy with possibility. I nodded, not quite prepared for the weight of what he was about to show me. Monica, he said gently, humanity stands at a crossroads, and the path we choose will shape not just our world, but the very fabric of the cosmos. As I looked into his eyes, I saw a vision unfold before me. It was like watching two movies side by side, each showing a different version of Earth's future. Jesus explained that these were potential paths for humanity, shaped by our collective consciousness and the choices we make as a species. In one vision, I saw a world torn apart by conflict, environmental destruction, and spiritual disconnection. People moved through their lives like shadows, consumed by fear and self-interest. The earth itself seemed to be crying out in pain, its resources depleted, and its beauty marred by pollution and neglect. But in the other vision, I saw something that took my breath away. It was Earth, but transformed. People moved with purpose and compassion, their faces lit with inner peace. The air was clean, the water pure, and nature thrived in harmony with human civilization. I could feel the vibrant energy of a planet alive with love and spiritual awareness. These are not fixed destinies, Jesus told me. The future you create depends on the choices humanity makes now. He explained that every decision we make, from the food we eat to the way we treat each other, ripples out into the collective consciousness of humanity and affects the planet itself. I was struck by the profound responsibility we hold. But how can we change course? I asked, thinking of all the problems facing our world. Jesus smiled and pointed to my heart. It starts here, he said. As individuals grow spiritually and choose love every day, it creates a ripple effect. When enough people make the shift, it can transform the entire planet. He showed me how simple acts of kindness and compassion can spread, creating waves of positive change. I saw how choosing sustainable practices and respecting the earth could heal the damage we've done and create a flourishing environment for all life. Remember, Monica, Jesus said, Earth is not just a planet, it's a living entity with its own spirit. How humanity treats the earth has deep spiritual implications. As I absorbed this incredible insight, Jesus revealed a vision of a spiritually awakened earth. It was a future where humanity lived in harmony, not just with each other, but with all of creation. People understood their connection to the planet and to the cosmos, and this awareness guided their actions. This potential future exists, Jesus told me, but it requires each person to commit to their own spiritual growth and to spreading love in their daily lives. I felt a surge of hope and determination. I knew that when I returned to my body, I had to share this message. We each have the power to shape our collective future, and every choice matters. As the vision faded, I turned to Jesus with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Is it time for me to go back? I asked, realizing that my journey in this realm was coming to an end. Jesus nodded, his eyes filled with love and encouragement. Yes, Monica, it's time for you to return and share what you've learned. Remember, your experience here is just the beginning of a new chapter in your life's purpose. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to die and come back to life? I never did, until it happened to me. The moment my heart started beating again, I realized that my journey was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. 1 second, I was immersed in the loving presence of Jesus, surrounded by the indescribable beauty of the afterlife. The next, I felt a violent jolt as the defibrillator shocked me back to life. I gasped, my eyes flying open to a world that suddenly seemed alien and constricting. The bright lights of the emergency room were harsh compared to the soft glow of the spiritual realm I'd just left. The beeping of machines and urgent voices of medical staff replaced the harmonious music I'd heard on the other side. As I lay there trying to process what had happened, I felt a profound sense of disorientation. My mind struggled to reconcile the vast spiritual truths I'd learned with the physical reality around me. How could I go back to my old life, my old way of thinking, after what I'd experienced? The days and weeks that followed were a whirlwind of emotions and realizations. I found myself valuing life on Earth much more, seeing each moment as a precious opportunity for growth and connection. As I told my family about my experience, I realized how much my perspective had changed. I know that our time here is limited, I explained to them, and that we will not have the same chances to grow and make a difference in other people's lives when we head back to the real world. Integrating my near-death experience into my daily life wasn't easy. Some of my colleagues and even family members were skeptical, finding it hard to believe that a science teacher could have such a profound spiritual experience. But I felt compelled to share my insights, hoping to provide hope and a new perspective to others. My approach to teaching underwent a significant transformation. While I still taught the scientific process and emphasized critical thinking, I also began to incorporate lessons about love, kindness, and the interconnectedness of all things. I wanted my students to question everything and appreciate the wonders of the world, both seen and unseen. I still teach the scientific process and how to think based on data. I explained to a fellow teacher who noticed the change in my lessons, but I also try to teach my kids a sense of wonder and an openness to options that go beyond what science can explain. As I settled into my new reality, I realized that my near-death experience had given me a renewed sense of purpose. I was no longer just a science teacher. I was a bridge between two worlds, helping others understand that there's more to life than what we can see and measure. The things we do and decide in this life, I learned, have a direct effect on our souls and what we experience after we die. My journey of transformation continues every day. Each choice I make, each person I interact with takes on new meaning in light of what I experienced. And while I still have moments of doubt and struggle, I'm filled with a deep sense of peace and purpose. I know that my experience wasn't just for me. It was meant to be shared, to bring hope and understanding to a world that often feels lost and disconnected. As I look to the future, I can't help but wonder how many others have had experiences like mine, and what could happen if we all started to see life through this new lens of eternal connection and purpose. As I reflect on my near-death experience, I'm struck by how much it has changed me. I've learned that we're all connected in ways we can't even imagine. Our lives here on Earth are just a small part of our eternal journey. Every choice we make, every act of kindness or forgiveness ripples out into the universe and shapes our spiritual growth. I used to think death was the end, but now I know it's just a transition. There's so much more waiting for us on the other side, a realm of love, learning, and endless possibilities. But we don't have to wait until we die to start living with purpose. We can choose love and compassion right now, in every moment. My experience has shown me that we're all part of something much bigger than ourselves. Our time on Earth is precious, a chance to learn and grow in ways we can't anywhere else. So I encourage you to think about your own spiritual journey. How can you bring more love into your life and the lives of others? What choices can you make today that will echo into eternity? Remember, every small act of kindness matters. We're all in this together, shaping not just our own futures, but the future of humanity and the cosmos itself. So let's make the most of this incredible gift of life, knowing that our journey doesn't end here, it's only just beginning.